Hello, in this video today I am going to show you how to install the Windows 10 technical preview on Hyper-V within Windows 8. First thing to do is to check you have Hyper-V installed. To do that, select the Start and check that you have Hyper-V in your apps list. You may have to pick the option for all apps down the bottom here. But yeah, you want to make sure you've got Hyper-V Manager installed. And if you don't know how to do that, then if you check the video description, there is a link to a video that I created that demonstrates how to install Hyper-V in Windows 8, as Hyper-V replaces the previously supplied virtual machine that we got with Windows 7. Now you want to download the ISO file for Windows 10 Technical Preview. And to do that, go to preview.windows.com. and scroll down to the bottom of the page and select the option to get started. Join now to join inside a program. You might have to log in with your Windows account. Just follow along the steps, and then when you go down the bottom you want to pick the ISO file that you want to do. And I always recommend using the 64-bit version, so simply download the 64-bit ISO. And you can see here I've already downloaded ISO, so I'm just going to cancel out of this, but you're going to want to download that. And that, it's just shy of 4 gigabytes, so that'll take either a long or short time depending on your internet connection. So once you've got the ISO downloaded, go back to your Start menu and launch the Hyper-V Manager. And the first thing I would recommend doing is going to the virtual switch manager and creating a new virtual switch. Now, I would recommend doing an external one. This would allow you to then provide access to the virtual machine you create with friends or with family over the internet. Especially if you're running this in a server 24/7, it's handy to share. So I'm just going to call that physical switch. I'm just going to say apply, and this may interfere with your system's current network connection. It almost will knock your internet connection off very briefly to create that. So once that's done, select OK. And then what we want to do is create a new virtual machine. So on the right hand side here we can select New Virtual Machine and just follow the wizard along. So I'm just going to say Next, and I'm going to call this Windows, let's make it Win10 Tech Preview. Next. You can select Generation 1 or 2. I'll just leave this at Generation 1 for now. Startup memory. Now I've got 8 gig on my machine, so I'm going to give most of the numlock key off. I'm going to give 2 gigabytes to the virtual machine. Next. In the connection, I'm going to select the physical switch. Now, if you hadn't created the virtual switch prior to doing this, your virtual machine wouldn't have any internet connection. So I'm just going to select the physical switch and click Next. And I'm going to create a virtual hard disk. If you already use Hyper-V and have some virtual hard disks, you could use one of those. I'm just going to create the virtual one in this size. So it expands, so it'll start off slow. And although it says 127 gigabytes, I mean it's going to start off slow and it can possibly expand to that size. So I'm just going to set mine to, I'll make it 4 gigabytes, which is more than enough for what I'm going to do with the tech preview. And select Next. And now what we're going to do is basically say, regarding the installation of the operating system. So I'm going to say install an operating system from the CD-ROM, and then we're going to select the ISO file. I'm going to select the tech preview, and then Next. That just gives you a little summary of the options you've just selected there, which is fine. And I'm going to say Finish. and that doesn't take too long at all. So that's it there, tech preview and the state's off. Now you can launch it straight away by pressing connect here, or you can double tap on it and that'll open it there. The way that I'm used to using HyperV is going through the connection manager in the start menu. So I tend to go to the start menu, and then the kind of virtual machine connection here. Now I'll just show you, if you launch that straight away just now, you'll notice that we don't have the admin rights. So if I select, it doesn't show me any virtual machines. What you actually have to do is right click on the virtual machine connection and run it as administrator. And the local host should be fine, and then we'll see the virtual machine I've created. Just say OK. The default state here is that the tech preview is turned off, but if we go to media, DVD drive, you'll see that it's already aligned the ISO file with the DVD drive ready to go. So the power button up here should start the virtual machine, and that will start the install of the Windows 10 ISO. I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit. Now, as this installation runs along, I will cut down the sequence a little bit to kind of speed the video up. But the installation from start to finish is very fast. If you've run through the installation of Windows 8 and Windows 7, the screens that we go through here initially are very familiar. Not a lot has changed. That possibly could change before Microsoft release the latest version, or the final version. So as with Windows 7 and Windows 8, I'm just going to leave this here with unallocated and click next. And that will then start preparing the files and running through the installation. Okay, it looks as if the virtual machine is now rebooting. We don't have to press any key at this point to boot from the bootable media. As install proceeds, there may be 2 or 3 different reboot occasions. Okay, similar to Windows 8, when you first boot into the Windows 10 you run through a couple of initial settings. For now I'm just going to select to use Express settings. If you hadn't set up the virtual switch, you would simply just enter some details for a local system account at this step. What I think will now be happening is I'll provided an option to sign into my Microsoft account. This wouldn't happen without the internet access. Okay, and Microsoft always does this this text to code thing. So I'm just actually going to say I can't do this right now. Now when you do that, it does stop you pulling across the settings from one of your previous machines. So you can see here that I can't pick the details from my current machine, which is fine. So I'll just set up as a new PC. And yeah, I'm quite happy to use OneDrive. I do use OneDrive as my cloud storage. And this is now going to set up your account on your machine, and then next it will do the whole, we're now getting things ready for you. It'll install your apps, all those things. Okay, it looks as if the install is now completed, and we have been taken to the Windows 10 dashboard, or desktop, sorry. So I can see down next to the clock that the internet connection is active, and it's registered internet access. And if I open up Explorer, I can then confirm that it's installed and it's been activated as well. And that looks pretty good. Then we can see the new start menu as well with the new tiles. Pulls across the news, but just like Windows 8, you can customize these, the sizes, do whatever you need to do. And obviously the big benefit with Windows 10 is that you can resize the previously full screen apps, and you can provide feedback. I hope that's been helpful, and if you have any questions or any problems doing this process, then please let me know. As I said before, you can then provide access to friends or family over the web to your virtual machine, run HyperV. As it runs in HyperV, you don't have to do anything here. You can simply close the window and it'll still be running, and that'll continue to run. Unless, if you want to go back, you can. Again, you have to do the run as administrator, and you can connect to it just back from where you left off. It's worth mentioning, if you do want to turn off the machine, you're going to press start, power, and then shut down. If I open the HyperV manager here, you can see it's running, and that will soon change to turned off or stopped. Because we've shut down the virtual machine. That's it, turned off. And again, you don't have to go into the HyperV manager to start it again. You can simply connect to it through the virtual machine connection and launch it this way. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any comments or feedback, please like the video, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching.